Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture by Martin Tutorials. I once gave a lecture regarding the concept I in mathematics. Today's lecture is directly from that lecture. If you have never learnt about I before, I strongly suggest you watch that lecture first, as today continues directly from that. In fact, I will put a link in the description. And today is just some questions I made up practicing what we learned in part 1. A quick reminder, which I said in part 1, is that I equals the root of minus 1, and therefore I squared equals minus 1. And in that part 1 lecture, I mentioned that I is an imaginary number. Theoretically, it shouldn't exist, but it has uses in mathematics. That's why we use I, even if it doesn't make sense to have the root of a negative number. I made up 2 questions to practice what we learned about I, and this is the first question. We have 2 plus I times 3 plus I, right? And we use distributive law to multiply out. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times I is 2I, 3 times I is 3I, and I times I is I squared. And now we simplify. 6 remains 6. 2I plus 3I equals 5I. And I intentionally put my finger there. What is I squared? I squared is minus 1. And now to simplify, 6 minus 1 is 5. And so the answer is 5 plus 5I. And that's the answer. And I'll leave it there for a few seconds for you to look at it. And if there's any questions, put in the comments. And here is the other question. And once again, I'm going to be mean and cover parts with my finger. We have 7 plus I times 2 minus I. All right, we'll multiply out. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times minus I is minus 7I. And 2 times I is plus 2I. And what's I times minus I? So I times I is I squared. And we put a minus, we get minus I squared. I times I is I squared. So I times minus I is minus I squared. And now we simplify. I rewrite that 14 minus 7I plus 2I is minus 5I. Even if I don't understand what I is, minus 7 lots of something plus 2 lots of that same thing will give me minus 5 lots of it. Now, how do we simplify minus I squared? Remember, what is I squared? I squared is minus 1. So minus I squared is minus minus 1, which simplifies to plus 1. So 14 plus 1 is 15, and the answer is 15 minus 5I. And again, I'll leave it for a couple of seconds for you to read over. There you go. And for any of these questions, if there's anything you're not sure of, please put in the comments. It'll be my pleasure to help you. Or if you have any other math questions, put in the comments. I'll see what I can do to help you. And please, if you enjoy these lectures, or if you didn't enjoy them, please click subscribe. It'll help me help you, because it's a free service I have to offer you to teach you about mathematics. And I intentionally position this camera so that beautiful orca or killer whale breaching the ocean is visible. So I really love that picture. I hope you enjoyed it too. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. Talk to you all soon.